thrill from knowing she is providing them with a new feed source. This is simultaneously counterbalanced, however, by a feeling of remorse and regret, as removing the feed source from her previous address means those poor birds are now going without. She heads down the hill now towards town. She takes it steady, keeping in second gear, as a heavy snowfall 2 days ago means the West Pennine moors are flooding the roads with their meltwaters. She checks her watch again and chides herself for remaining at home for the extra 5 minutes, watching Warren give his statement. How did it feel to sleep in his own bed last night, she wonders. Good, she hopes. It can be strange, but people do miss different things. For most, it's their family they miss, rather than freedom, and it can come as quite a shock when the people they've spent their lives bickering with turn out to be the ones they find themselves aching to see. There's a parking space a little further along from the post office, and Tess grabs it while she can. The pavements are empty of pedestrians, the weather putting people off from venturing out, she presumes, so Tess is optimistic of getting back on the road fast, and reckons an hour is probably enough time in which to make it to Manchester city centre for the meeting. But when she pushes open the post office doors, she whispers an emphatic "fuck" under her breath, because the place is filled to the brim with pensioners, all chatting amiably, all with surely not much on in the way of work today. Tess tries to swallow down her frustration, tells herself to be patient and a little more generous, as she, too, will be old eventually, and she can understand how leaving the house early, heading out, can give a person's day purpose and structure. Perhaps even stave off the loneliness and isolation the elderly can be so susceptible to. When it's her turn to be served, when the room has completely emptied of bodies, Tess approaches the glass wall which separates the postmaster from the communal space and places a jiffy bag on the weighing scales. "I'd like to send this first class, please. It doesn't need to be signed for. And can I collect the forwarded mail from my last address you've been holding for me? It's in the name of Tess Gilroy." Tess looks up at the postmaster expectantly. No response. She waits, but there is nothing. No response from him at all. Tess feels mildly uncomfortable as she examines the postmaster's blank face. He's not young, nearer to 70 than 60, and now that she looks more closely, his skin does have a clammy pallor to it. "Are you okay?" she asks. Again there is no reply, and Tess glances behind to see if anyone else has entered the post office in the time she's been engaged. She's alone. "Do you want me to call someone for you? Get you some help?" she asks. And it's only when she's surveying the contours of his face again, for signs of palsy, a stroke, that he raises his right hand slightly and gestures to a sign, high on the wall, over to Tess's left. The sign reads, "Wait behind white line until called." Tess looks behind her and sees the white line painted on the floor. She looks back to the postmaster, and his face is still without expression, and so, dutifully, she picks up her jiffy bag and returns to the queuing area, making sure the rounded toes of her boots are positioned neatly behind the white line. Once there, the postmaster calls out, "Good morning," and beckons for Tess to approach the glass. She does this, and suddenly he's all smiles. He says, brightly, "And what can I do for you today?" Tess just looks at him. Outside, Tess is holding an envelope in her hand. It has her name on it. It's part of the batch forwarded on from her previous address. She recognises the sender instantly, and toys with the idea of putting it straight into the nearest bin, but she can't quite bring herself to do it this time, for a reason she doesn't comprehend. Instead, she takes a pen from her handbag and scores through the lettering before writing, "Not known at this address" across the front. Then she drops it into the postbox with the rest of her outgoing mail. Chapter 2. Now. When she joins the motorway, Tess heads south, not encountering any heavy traffic until the M60, where each branch of the network converges. From then on, she drives at a stop-start, until finally she reaches the car park on Bridge Street in the city centre.